Hey, Rani here. Shall we make a game? Now we're gonna set ourselves a nice low kind of attainable target for today. Given that still not 100%, but an inch forwards is still an inch forwards. So I want to finish this door off. Kind of started texturing it, but didn't finish it. So there are some intentional differences between this and the kind of the original, such as the door itself is taller, so that you can more easily skateboard through it. But the first thing you need to do is you need to sort this out, whatever this is. Now, I think last time I did look at this and say, like, hey, this is probably like a face relief. So I don't remember if I started texturing it. It doesn't look like I did. That's fine. What am I going to call this? Is coving the right word for it? Is it the right word for it? Yeah, it'll do. We'll call it coving. And next question is how big, because obviously this is like divided by 3. You know, we've got like 3 tiles in here, but our door is actually slightly larger, and we're working on a 1 by 1 meter tile grid. So do I make it 4? Because then it wouldn't be the same shape. Because this is like twice as wide as it is tall. How's that happened? How'd they fit 3 in there? Oh, I don't know. Oops. What's going on there? There we go. Tried to delete it, just wouldn't. Okay, so... Oh, actually, we need to frame this as well. So I'm just going to put everything back in. And then I'm going to expand this. So I guess I'm doing all kind of like 3 kind of uniquely, which is fine. Yeah, it's not actually tiled at this point, but that's fine. And I'm going to grab this and stretch it out. There we go. Now, engine-wise, I've done a tiny amount this week, but not very much. Not a huge amount. I am pretty close to having the exporter done, I think. Not 100%, not done, but getting close. Bring that material just made, and then apply it. Where is it? It didn't add it to the list again. That's so weird. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. There doesn't seem to be any pattern to it. Right, now we need to unwrap this. Okay, now there's like about 50-50 shot that I might be backwards. Oh, actually, maybe I didn't need those edge pieces. Oh well. Let's find out. Hey, it's right first time. That doesn't normally happen. Anyway. Let's get dividing this up. So we're going to have it approximately divided by 3. So 64 does not divide evenly by 3. It gets us 21.3. So if we could actually just make the middle one slightly wider or something. Or maybe we can make the middle ones narrower so we can have a bit of shadow on the outer ones. So yeah, let's make the outer 22 wide. And then we can really get to time the shadow in the corners here. Okay, next up we need to figure out what kind of pattern this is. This kind of looks like it's got like a sort of like a circular, well, sort of like a nearly circular kind of inset, and something in the middle, which might be some kind of like face relief or something. Do we have another angle on this? I don't think we do. Not many of the shots seem to include the front door. Yeah, I discovered the history panel in GIMP. It's actually a much better way of navigating. No, it doesn't look like it. Fair. Let's use one of these colors just to kind of like draw the rough outlines. Use layers as well. Oh, I should be using the symmetry tool actually. This is actually a case of symmetry tool. Makes perfect sense. Right, what the heck does that look like? So I'm gonna try and make it an actual face, although it's gonna be kind of like I haven't got a lot of pixels to work with here. So I'm gonna go for, yeah, not gonna have like say distinct eyeballs, but kind of just have like a rough outline like the nose and that kind of thing. Looks terrible now. With a bit of shading on it, it'll probably look fine. I swear it'll look fine. I think this has, yeah, I think this has an opacity feature we can use to kind of draw on top. Yeah, it does. So if I then select the whole thing, still not 100% with it, so I'm going to be making a lot of weird mistakes today. It is mostly going to be lit from below, so I want to take that into account. I might very well end up going back over this with more light later on. Man, I'm definitely not with it. It's very strange. Sort of made us like, no, this is Lego. That's not quite what I was going for. That does kind of work, I suppose. It's not quite what I was going for, but that does kind of work. Okay, let's lighten it up a bit. It's a bit too dark at the minute. Man, this looks terrible. What am I doing? Oh no. I might end up scrapping everything I do today, so I know I'm not really with it. Okay. Just touch the shadow down here as if it's like inside a frame, and a bit up here. Actually, let's have like a gentle sort of gradient towards the back. Yeah, so some of that'll do. And so a slightly offset version of it on the outer layer, so it's almost kind of like this. Wait, it should be lighter on the outside. That looks really bad, especially when you compare it with that. Okay. All right, we can salvage this somehow. I'm just not switched on today at all. Oh no. Okay, so I guess the first thing is this is meant to be kind of like a face, right? It needs to stick out more than it currently does. Wait, did I do the math wrong? This doesn't look like it fits. Yes, I think I've done the math wrong. Yeah, I've definitely failed to divide a number by 3. Ah. Okay, all right. So have a look at this. So look at this. Let's just reset our brains a bit. Have a look at this. Try and figure out where we're going wrong. So problem number 1 is that, yeah, it's basically. I'm just gonna try flipping it vertically and see if it looks a bit less weird. Nope, that still looks pretty weird. However, I think I can see what the issue is, kind of in context, and the issue is sort of that this is kind of like lit very kind of centrally, and it looks pretty good. You know, like someone's kind of like it's kind of like directly in front of the surface, whereas this is not for some reason. Put symmetry back on, and let's try and even that up a bit. Probably see why I've skipped out on playing Silent Hill 3 this last couple of nights, because like this is the sharpest I've been all week. And like last time I was playing Silent Hill 3, I did not leave the game in a great state. There was a how do I put it? Not a lot of resources left at my disposal. kind of used all the health items. Okay, next up, let's try flipping this round. Damn, that's weird. Okay. Okay, let's try making this look more rounded. Let's have like the kind of like light spot be kind of like, you know, more of a circle and less kind of like a sort of like a crescent. Okay, let's put a bit more shadow into this corner and just really kind of make it sort of like look a bit more like an actual physical object. All right, we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. This kind of like shadow on the outside. This needs a bit. This needs a bit of adjustment because at the moment it's really kind of like flat all the way around. It just doesn't quite look right. Let's lighten it up, coming around here. All right, next up, I feel like we need more shadow under here just because this is way too light. All right, okay, getting closer. Getting closer. Next up, I'm just going to stretch this out to here slightly. Tell symmetry mode though, this is about to mess me up. And put a bit of a face on this. Yeah, I do want kind of like the impression of kind of like a face looking down. So it's kind of like the kind of like, you know, spooky house thing. How do I hint more of this with this few pixels? How's that looking context? Don't know if I'm necessarily kind of like awake enough to know whether that looks goofy or not. I think that does look goofy. Yeah, definitely some reshaping. Ah. Yeah, I'm glad I set my goal really low for today. I would not be getting much more done. Right, now let's mirror that over and see if it looks a bit less goofy when it's symmetrical. Oops. No, that still looks hella goofy. Okay, let's keep working on it. Maybe if we grunge it up a bit, it might look a little bit better. So if I do that, I'm going to want a bit of shadow on the edges, I think I'm going to. Yeah, I need a little bit of shadow on the edges. Yeah, it's really get it into the corners, really kind of trying to give the impression of this being a physical 3D object set into a frame. Okay, let's see if grunging it up does much for it. Let's go to a new layer. It took me so long to find the word duplicate that list. I'm completely not in a good state for doing this. Want the shading tool, spray tool, shading, select all these, and go to town. And then, oh, I wish the blur tool would only use the colors you selected. What's the way to make it do that? Is there perhaps like a mode where it doesn't? It's not. Okay, let's be a bit more targeted with the kind of the drawing tool then. Let's just do it kind of like explicit here. Let's just use it to like grunge at the corners and stuff. Quick little bit of scribble. Just hint at a bit more detail and it being a bit less clean than it looked previously. That's starting to look a bit better. It's still a bit naff, but that's starting to look a bit better. And from a distance, it doesn't look bad at all. I feel like one thing it kind of needs now is just a bit more light below the, from like the around the middle vertically. Kind of match it up with the surrounding tiles a bit better. There we go. That's looking a bit more like what I wanted. Just fix this blob of pixels here. There we go. Next up, let's just do a little bit of grunging on the wood. Now, would you look at that? That's almost comprehensible. All right, that'll do for now. Let's go on to the that's window. So it has just occurred to me, there's this here. It kind of hints at there being something sort of here, like maybe kind of like another kind of, you know, like a, say, window or something above it, but I don't think we have any pre-renders that kind of look in that direction. So next up, have a big chunk of wood again. It's like half the height of the bit above. So I'm just going to copy these out to here. And then we're going to do something like that. So the question is how many sides we're going to do. Because I'm probably going to, rather than say texturing the whole thing, we're going to do it via modeling, like a repeated kind of tile that looks a bit like that. So how many sides do we reckon? 1, 2, hang on, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 sides. Let's drop that slightly to 12. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to build a little fan to the center. Ah, what am I doing? Now the original kind of has like an inset kind of frame. Just divide these up into sort of like sublines. Wait, why did it select the outer ring whenever I select that? That's weird. I mean, it did what I wanted, but it's kind of strange what it did in the way. I'm probably going to regret doing it this way from an unwrapping perspective. I don't know yet. Especially we're going to take this entire section here. Let's just remove the doubles. And then we're going to turn each one of these into a separate tiling of the same texture. No idea what the texture is going to look like yet because it feels kind of weird to kind of like only use half of a texture because you're making a triangular slice of a square, but it's like we're hurting for texture memory, is it? Okay, what aspect ratio we're looking at on this? It's about 2:1, so we'll go with that as a sort of like an initial guess. And it's about 1 meter wide, so we'll go for 16 by 32. Get rid of like all layers. That's my first guess. Let's see how that looks. It's time to play the material lottery. Will it add a material or will it not? See, it did it that time for some reason. Very strange. No idea what's going on there. Is this actually backwards? It's still on backface culling in C. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, we did get the right around. The outer frame we didn't, but this one we did. Okay, let's draw this outline with a brighter color, I think. Now we're actually going to want to center this, and the reason we're going to want to do that is so that you don't kind of end up with like really weird distortion on the other versions of this, on the other sort of tiles of this arch piece. That looks vaguely symmetrical. Let's go. Oh, look, that line up like perfectly first time. Isn't that usually impossible? That never happens. Let's just pixel nudge some of this slightly. Just make sure that we capture the entire area and have no excess pixels. That was way neater than it normally goes. Looks like maybe this one we can get rid of. This one? This one? There it is. Appears to be a little bit of disagreement between Blender and Sprite regarding where pixels fall on the line, but that's okay. Right, so now you can see kind of like we're going to sort of texture this, it's going to get kind of repeated around. That one came upside down because of course it did. It's weird how this one actually unwrapped perfectly as far as I can tell. Oh, not quite. Yeah, not quite, but nearly. Yeah, let's get this one that insists on turning upside down. Other than being upside down, it's actually a pretty good match for the actual geometry, which is nice. All right, okay. Next up, we try and make it look like this. So we've got this kind of like, we've got roughly two of these kind of like, you know, my God, my brain. Sort of arch things per kind of tile and then a dot between each one. So it's probably going to look something like... something like that, I think. Yeah, we've kind of got the pixel boundary kind of overlapping with this line. It's not going to look quite right no matter how we, not quite how we slice it. It's always going to look a bit kind of jagged. Is there a simple way around that? Is there something we can do to kind of make it look less jagged? Not convinced there is. Maybe we do a bit of kind of like, you know, softish anti-aliasing. Something like this, just to kind of like soften the blow. Sort of. I think we're on the right track. It just looks a bit weird at the minute. Hey, that doesn't look better. I do have this kind of like weird lighter pixel here. What's going on with that? This is just because like the right. Okay, I get it. The inside should be kind of like anti-alias. The outside shouldn't. Just so that you don't have that kind of like effect of it kind of seeming to escape the lines. Okay, that's starting to look a bit more. It looks a bit weird, but it looks a bit less incorrectly weird, if you know what I mean. So it needs to come like a black line around the outside, and this kind of wavy pattern needs to be way thicker. So just gonna move it down and thicken it to 2 pixels. We can get rid of all this wavy pattern stuff up here, which is kind of too close to the edge. And then add a nice solid block of, I guess, like leading around there. And then hint of that kind of like block shape they put in there. All right, okay, this is good. Making this like weird, just abstract thing took like almost the entire stream, and making this actually way more, you know, structurally complex piece of like tile geometry in a way I've not really done before. Yeah, that was easy. Okay, now we just need a bit of a splodge down there. Hey. It is emerging. That looks pretty good. I might give it a slight brightness adjustment. I feel like it's maybe slightly too light compared to the surroundings. I'm not sure. I might try vertex paint on it as well. Like saying, I'm just going to unwrap all these. I think I've got a trim texture down here, or is it? That's the one. Oops, I have the 2D cursor, so it's the sort of like origin, don't want that. Okay, it's got that lovely kind of like PlayStation 1 distortion, because we're really kind of taking a simple square texture and starting to put it into place that really shouldn't be. That's what I like to see. Okay, next up I need to fill this gap. I guess I can kind of do this. And actually do the same thing on the other side. And then I need to carve it up to take this kind of like edge into account. So, I think Blender might actually have a tool for this, knife tool. Yeah, I've not really used this. Does it have? So we've got these controls down here at the bottom. Midpoint snap. Can we like snap to the edge intersection? That'd be good. Did that do anything? No, I don't think it did. Did that do anything? I have absolutely no idea how this knife tool works. Did that do anything? I don't know. It kind of looks like it should be doing something, but it doesn't seem to be. All right, okay. So what I'm going to do instead is... I think it should be like an edge. Just edge snap, I guess. And then I can subdivide this edge. Actually, I'm just going to remove doubles first. And then I can snap it to that. Should be like a slide. Okay, there we go. Aha! Aha, there we go. And then we got snap to a vertex there, and then from there to there. Aha! Right, there's one of our polygons sorted out. So we should now be able to get rid of this central one. And that leaves us with just the gap we wanted to fill. Okay. That's a bit awkward, but we got there. And do the same with this. This one we need to cut in two places. So we need to... just going to hide these for a second. I'm definitely mirroring this over to the other side rather than trying to replicate this perfectly. And we'll edge snap again. Okay, and we also need to split this edge and move it to meet that one. Okay. And then we get rid of this polygon and just replace it with this one. Okay, that's hopefully all the awkward geometry done. Let's get rid of all the bits we're going to be replacing on the other side. We're going to reveal them all. We're going to remove all the doubles. And then we're just going to quickly retexture this to without wallpaper. I think I saw like Z fighting around here. I think I did. Anyway, if we unwrap this, it should, if it doesn't do something stupid, like say this glider looking thing, whatever this is. I'm just going to turn off the pixel snap because I don't want that turned on for this. And we want to roughly align this to the bottom left corner. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be near enough that you can't tell it's not perfect. Oops. And then 2D cursor it so we can really expand it to the edges. Good. And then this is 3x3 magnification, so it's 1x3. And I'm just going to rotate it so it's kind of correctly aligned. And the next awkward thing is that the engine doesn't actually support wrapping textures at the minute, so I'm just going to kind of fix this by grabbing these, splitting them off, and moving them around manually. So they all fit inside the unit square. Okay, next up we need to put those around the y-axis -1. Let's use the bounding box so that it's, yeah, there we go. Remove our doubles, and then I'm just going to try and fix up this vertex paint. I think the vertex paint is one of the things making it look a bit strange at the minute. So we've got this kind of like warm kind of like light coming from what I think is meant to be a chandelier, right? So I guess we'll focus on that. I think some of these polygons are backwards, aren't they? Let's switch over to workbench. And yeah, some of these polygons are very backwards. Right, let's make that consistent. It should be recalculate inside. There we go. Yeah, the entire carpet was backwards as well. Oops. There we go. Next up, we just want a nice little bit of, a bit of roll off towards the edges. So it's kind of like, still light, but kind of like less so. I might also make a variant of this kind of tile texture, a bit of like a trim on it, just so you can kind of like have a bit of a shadow on the outside. Because like they've actually got that here, they've got that like, dark edge. I feel like I should definitely have that. Okay, now let's soften this edge just a touch, this kind of like hard edge we have up here. Darken it along the corners. you know what? I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna make that sort of trimmed version of that texture though. The only thing is, I think I've already called it trim. I don't remember where I put it though. I think it might have been the floor. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, this definitely should not have been the floors folder. So let's grab the outer levels here, shading mode on. Add this new material. Let's roll the dice. Will it create new material or not? Oh, it actually did this time. How nice. Oh, and these all need rotating 90 degrees. And one of them, for some reason, I missed and is still just kind of like floating out in limbo space. Okay. Yeah, that little bit of kind of like sort of like, you know, edge darkening really helps a lot. The next thing I'd just like to do is I'm just going to explicitly avoid selecting any of the wood, and I'm going to add a very little. None of this is like final geometry. It's more this kind of the texture tiles I'm trying to focus on getting done. But I wonder if doing a vertex paint and then I think into the mode where selection matters, and then select a few more tiles. I think. I'm curious to know if like darkening the tiles kind of like sort of here will help a bit with making it look a bit more solid. I think it might well do. Just make it here pop a bit more. Yeah, that helps a bit. Let's see about like rotating these edges to kind of like get rid of that sort of big sort of dirty line we just had. Yeah, it's got rid of this kind of like weird sort of like sprouting bit of shadow and turn it to kind of more of just a sort of like a guard line. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. That's what I wanted to get done today, and I'm glad to have got it done. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be more recovered and we'll be able to move on to doing some of the dining hall. Till then, thank you very much for watching and have a great Saturday.